Congressman Jackson lifted up when he talked about the soldier who was living in the building, who had come back from, I think it was Desert Storm, and is dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. And he's put in the situation with the night goggles, the flashbangs, and all that goes on, and it triggers that response. So, that heavy psychological impact of what it's having on him, and they're dealing with the federal government shutdown for services that may be available that then are not available to those folks. So, Reverend Ciera, my question to you, though, is this. There are other cities that we know that the administration has said that they're coming to. That Chicago's not a one-off. Chicago is going to be probably a model of what they want to do across the country to these various cities. What advice do you have to the communities, to community leaders in those cities to prepare?
I'm always the biggest component of saying we have to organize. That means right now, if you are, even now we do see that it's happening in, the threat is happening. Like we see it in Portland, we see the threat towards Memphis. I would say organize. Begin to pull your tables and your people together to develop a plan. Schedule meetings with your elected officials so that what's happening and what's their strategies. Begin to make sure that you have access to know your rights trainings, to trainings for protests to keep people safe, so that you can make sure that we have nonviolent protests and that we don't have we want to make sure that people aren't going off and doing their own things because they expect folks to react a certain way so that they can have a reason to act more aggressively. So right now, people have to organize, and it literally, if you don't see something happening, connect. You may be the person that has to be the convener of all of the organizations or the local organizations to be able to pull something together. If you're a faith leader, pull your colleagues together, and this is not the moment to, be this person is trans or this person is Muslim. It takes all of us working together in this moment to combat white supremacy. So organize and make sure that we're working across tables collectively.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend Chamberlain, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think that you would also, and I agree with you 100% in organizing, community organizing, but I think there also has to be a family organizing that goes on, because you don't know if families are going to be separated when things are coming in like this. And this, I remember as a child, we used to have these family safety plans. If something happens, this is where we meet. This is what you do. This is who you call. Let's be certain that we have, connections and backup connections that are in place. Do you think that we need to start doing that and re-emphasizing that just within the family itself, given what we're facing and what Chicago has just gone through?
Absolutely. And I think what's important about the family piece is that families are educated. Families are, it's one thing to go out, but charity begins at home. You got to make sure you're talking to your cousins and your aunties and uncles and educating them on the process and making sure that you're able to keep your family safe. So I absolutely agree that it's with the family. I also think that in addition to our organizing, making sure that there are systems in place for people who are going to be impacted by the policies, because this moment isn't just about Trump invading the cities. This is also about massive cuts that are happening through policy, whether it be with SNAP and housing, healthcare. So we also have to be simultaneously thinking about how are we making sure that our people are provided for.
Mm-hmm. And Barbara, I just wonder, are we now at a point, in Chicago, in Illinois, and in the United States, where we need to be certain we have our identification when we go out? Are we there, Barbara?
I mean, it's. I'm telling you right now, folks, that you're better off having it with you, and keeping it where it's safe. You don't want to be carrying around ID that you lose. Get a photocopy, carry it with you, and then you can deal with the original later. I just, the one other thing I want everyone to think about, and I'm so glad we're talking about the family level, we're talking about the personal level, we're talking about the, the group level. I also want to remind everyone that you have one other personal power in this situation, and that is we need you to call right now. Write the number down if you don't know it by heart. If you've been listening to this show, you know it. We need you to call that U.S. Senate switchboard right now. That number is 202-224-3121, 202-224-3121. There's a couple of things you need to be saying to your senators. You need to be telling them to end this governmental shutdown by making sure that people have medical access, that they have the medical insurance that people are fighting to make sure people have. Otherwise, 24 million people will suffer. Some will die from the lack of medical coverage. We want you to also use your power to tell Trump to pull these troops out of these cities. The Congress is getting away with so much malfeasance here, or so much neglect, everybody, because they have a say here. It's not the president's authority that's at jeopardy here. It is that it's all of our individual rights that are at jeopardy, and Congress has the responsibility to protect us. They are our representatives. They should be protecting us. So get on that. Make sure that you make your voices heard. Don't be silent. Say no. Say that. We want to hear you. Use that number. Okay, again, it is 202-224-3121. Talk to your senator. And as we close this show today, we want to thank our guests, right, Daryl? And we would go ahead, and I'm going to let you ask our guest to give us her info.
Oh, absolutely. And Reverend Chamberlain, if people want to reach you, they're listening, they're saying, you know what, I need to talk to Reverend Chamberlain, that's some stuff I just need to understand. How do they reach you?
You can go to our website and follow our information. You can also reach out at info@livefreeillinois.org, and our team will be able to get the message directly to me. You can also follow me on social media at Rev Ciera on our channels.
And spell that because people might not know how to say spell your name right. Tell them how to find you. Spell your name for them.
So it's spelled out REVCIERA, Rev Ciera.
Right. Because I was doing it SIERA. So I just want to make sure that people know it's CIERA. Thank you so much. You are wonderful. We love your advocacy. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And wasn't certain if there was a closing word that you had for our audience, Reverend Chamberlain.
Yeah, my closing word is that this is bigger than what they're making it, and we can't lean into their lives. We have to organize and resist because, again, we're fighting for the soul of our country in this moment. So wake up and organize, people.
All right now. Thank you. We appreciate you. And as we close, Daryl and I want to make sure all of you, our listeners, know about a couple of things. Are you aware that this is Banned Books Week, October the 5th through the 11th, that we are saying this is not 1984, that we want people to have the right to read our African-American history, to read our Latino history, Mexican-American history, to read our women's studies, that we will not be banned, that LGBTQIA rights have a right to be read, their stories. We will not sit and hide the true American story. It's all of us. So this is your week to make it known to all of your local officials. Check your school boards, check your libraries, make sure nobody is trying to ban books. And in fact, we hope more states will do what Illinois has done and make it illegal to ban books. So it is so important. It hurts to watch that they don't want to teach up from slavery. It hurts to watch that they don't want to teach about Ruby Bridges. It hurts to watch that they don't want to teach about John Lewis. These are, and Martin Luther King and Frederick Douglass and so many others, these are essential stories. And so, Daryl, we are definitely calling everybody to observe Banned Books Week this week.
Absolutely, Barbara. And we invite everyone that's in the area, anyone that's even listening to the show, or if you know somebody that might be listening to the show or thinking about or should be listening to the show, we encourage everyone to come join us on October the 15th at the Supreme Court, where we will be there protesting, demanding that the Supreme Court do the right things and do the right thing in the Voting Rights Act that is before it in the Calais case. That's October the 15th, and we'll be there at 9 in the morning. We'll be there early. We'll be there at 9 in the morning. We'll be there until at least noon as the arguments are being held. So we definitely encourage you to come out to hear us and be with us and show up and show out and show your support for the Voting Rights Act and what's happening now at and before the Supreme Court. You can find more information about that on our website at tjcoalition.org. That's tjcoalition.org. Much thanks to our guest today, one of our favorite Congressman Jonathan Jackson, for being with us, Reverend Ciera Bates Chamberlain, who's on the ground in Chicago. They're fighting a good fight and being certain that the people are getting the services that they need. Folks, again, if you're in Chicago and you need and want information with regards to knowing your rights, you can go to livefreeillinois.org, livefreeillinois.org. You can also go to westsidejustice.org, westsidejustice.org, or you can go to westsiderising.org, westsiderising.org. Folks, Chicago is a prime example of why we say it every week, why we say it every show, why we say it every chance that we get. You've got to get off the sidewalk, get into the streets, get in good trouble, protect your rights, protect your neighbors, protect those that are around you, because it's those that are around you that will serve as a protection for you. We've got to be certain that we're doing all we can to preserve this democracy, to preserve our rights. And we've got to know our rights in order to preserve our rights. I like to say, Barbara, that we have to not only know our rights, but we also need to know our risks, and we need to know our resources. So we encourage you to contact those three sources. Until next Tuesday, noon.
And folks, don't forget, October 18th, No Kings. October 18th, No Kings. Go to nokings.org right now and make sure that you're in those streets on Saturday, October the 18th. Thank you.
Until next Tuesday, noon Eastern Standard Time, peace, everybody.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Urban One Incorporated, Radio One, or any of its subsidiary companies.
The preceding program was paid for by Barbara Arnwine.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000.
Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief took care of Eric's problem.
And now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-569-4435. 800-569-4435.
Optima Tax Relief. News Story.
Talk 1450 and 95.9 WOL with the Carl Nelson Show. Weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. Reverend Al Sharpton keeping it real from 1 to 4 p.m. And the Tavis Smiley Show from 4 to 7 p.m. Download our mobile app and take us everywhere you are or listen live at WOLDCnews.com. The news and issues